were 2 steps behind on every action tonight defensively. Their cutting had us spinning like a top the entire game, and it resulted in a lot of catch and shoot threes. Credit to Golden State. They played with a ton of energy and force. We looked slow, sloppy, rundown. And that's how you get a result like that. So we got to get our energy back, be ready to go Friday.
Can you go into kind of more detail on kind of what you're looking for defensively? In this game.
Yeah, you can't get back cut 75 times in the game. You can't be off the body when we're trying to switch off the ball. You have to play with force. You have to steer and be physical, or else you're just going to be reacting over and over again to a team who, that's their style. They move and cut and pass, and they've done it for a long time. And when they get you spinning like that, they do a great job of making decisions that result in catch and shoot threes. It's a credit to them, but we didn't do a good job of keeping our body between them and the basket. And we weren't physical enough to try to slow them up, and so they had us in rotations, not really because of drives, but because of cuts.
It seems like Ace's role changes a little bit game to game. What does that say to his development and who he is as a player?
Yeah, Ace is getting better. I'm really excited about his progress. He's showing us each night, a higher level of understanding of how he can impact the game. He's finding a variety of shots. His catch and shoot three, he's finding ways to be creative off the bounce, especially late in the clock, getting to like his little fadeaway, and some of his isolation stuff, it's very good. He's been a great cutter for us all year. Plays with a lot of energy. I think it's starting to slow down for him a little bit. I feel like early in the year, the reads weren't quite as clean, getting used to his teammates and the style of play and just kind of the pace of the NBA. But Ace is showing a lot of improvement.
Bryce scored 22 tonight. What have you liked about his progression in the last month?
Yeah, Bryce is he's a terrific scorer. He's a threat from everywhere on the court. I think, his ability to get threes off has been a big progression for him over the last, I'm gonna call it year. Getting his feet set, especially in the pocket against the switch, he's done a really good job of that. And then, when he does draw matchups that are favorable and he catches the ball on the run in transition or late in the clock, he's been able to create some mid-range opportunities. I think the work he's on his body shows when he makes plays around the rim, like he's elevating well and finishing well. He's got a wide array of skills on offense that continue to show up.
When at the end of the quarter you go Kyle and Lowry as your front court, and when that happens, who's playing the 5? And I guess in general, when do you kind of want to go small without Flip or Nurk or Kevin, I guess, at the 5?
Yeah, the other team usually tells you who the 5 is. Okay. Where they put the 5 is kind of how you have to operate. And I think there are just moments where, Kyle's ability to switch. Kyle's a pretty good rebounder at his size, and I recognize that he's not a true center, but he gives us some playmaking and ball handling. Made a couple of great, late drop-off passes tonight. So it's something that we've tinkered with more and more this year. Because when you talk about, even Flip and Kevin, for example, like they're not true 5s either. Kevin's been a 4 for the majority of his career. And so has Flip. I think both of their natural positions is more 4. So you're making the same decision for a little bit of a different skill set, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, we're giving up a little bit of size and some of those things like we would with Flip and Kevin, but different games sometimes call for different things.
You touched on it, but what are kind of the unique challenges that Golden State presents for your defense?
Yeah, they do a great job of their cutting actions happen with the ball in a variety of places. It's not just top of the key. It's not just post. They do some post, some elbow, some top of the key, sometimes on the wing. Like, they find different places to make the ball static, and they cut. And so it's a lot of different situations that require communication. Sometimes it's two people involved, sometimes it's three. And then obviously, you know, Steph Curry, the threat of Steph Curry is something that we all react to. Steph is the greatest shooter of all time, also a pretty outstanding cutter. You know, if you go back and watch him over the course of his career, and even now, like, he finds his way to the basket cutting for layups, and just draws so much attention that a lot of times he's taking two people with him. You know, they do a great job as a group of making quick decisions once they create the rotations defensively. And it's just a little bit different because it's not dribble drive that's creating the rotations, a lot of cutting. Thanks.
Thank you.